Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect out here pushing his truth and sincerity. Throughout for what you do, we love you. We appreciate you through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And shalom to y'all. This your brother Dawada from the Great Millstone Camp in Atlanta. Lord willing, to give you an edifying lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Alright, who the world ignorantly calls God, his name is Yahweh, meaning he is, or he exists, or he to be. Who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, his name is Yahweh Shai, meaning he is the Savior, or he is the deliverer. Alright, he saves, he delivers. If you're watching this now and you are a so-called black, Native American, or Latino man or woman, then you are Hebrew Israelite according to the Holy Bible. You would not find black, Native American, or Latino in the Bible, so you have to know who you are, because of certain people in the Bible were promised the covenant, the new covenant, the glory, the kingdom, and salvation. All right, now if you don't look like a so-called black, Native American, or Latino, you could possibly be a Hebrew Israelite, especially if you believe that this is the truth and it resonates with your spirit. It does not matter what you look like. It does not matter what color your skin is. It's not about race in that regard, all right? It's about your bloodline going back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, okay? So you could look like a so-called Chinese person and still be a Hebrew Israelite, all right? As long as your bloodline goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob had his name later changed to Israel. Israel in the Hebrew is Yasharallah, meaning he is a prince of the power. We're still reading about our ancestors, our forefathers, all right, those that came before us, their journeys, all right, their walk. Now we went through these before, all right, but now we're doing it later on in time, giving new insight, based upon the doctrine and the body. Some things might be missed, but we're also sticking to the milk as well. All right, so Genesis, but by milk I mean the beginning. When you're babes, you drink the milk before you go on to meat. But I got all those scriptures, I got all those videos done where we're going into the milk and we're going into the meat. All right, but it's always good to go back into the milk. All right, so we're just reading. We're reading the stories about our forefathers. All right, Genesis 37, verse 1. Now, subtitle reads Joseph's dream. All right, it says, and Jacob dwelt in the land. Now, you remember beforehand, all right, Simeon and Levi, they did what they did, having treachery, and being cruel with Shechem, his father, Hamor, the story of Shechem, what he did to Dinah, their sister. He took her by force and laid with her. And what they did, they killed him. All right, killed the Canaanites and pretty much chased out of that land from the Canaanites and the Perizzites. But an angel came to Jacob in a dream, and told him, the Lord came to Jacob in a dream, told him what to do, via angel. It says, and Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren, and the lad was with the sons of Bilhah, and with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wife. And Joseph brought unto his father the evil report. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age. And he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him, and could not speak peaceably unto him. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. So the Lord was dealing with Joseph. Joseph was a great seer, right? It says, and he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose, and also stood upright. And behold, your sheep stood round about, and made obeisance to my sheaf. And his brother said to him, Shalt thou indeed reign over us, or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. And he dreamed yet another dream, and told it his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, the sun and the moon and 11 stars made obeisance to me. Salakia. Hopefully you can hear. That's the rain. It's actually pretty therapeutic, but it might be too loud for the video. But yeah, the 11 stars. You know, well, you know, we know there's 12 patriarchs, right? 12 stars are Hebrew Israelites. But you know, out of Joseph will come, Ephraim and out of Joseph came Ephraim, Manasseh, you know, the northern kingdom, and you know, let me see, make sure I'm not tripping. Yeah, so basically, this is going to a later prophecy, but for now, we'll just stick to until that point comes. Basically, right now, he's pretty much, looks as if he's boasting or showing himself to be a leader, but that's not, what he's doing, because in the future, what will happen is, his brothers are going to reunite with him, but it's going to be under the Pharaoh. It's going to be a heavy time coming when it's going to be a famine, and pretty much he's going to be pretty much on. Well, see, I don't want to spoil it. So it's not that I'm spoiling it. It's just we're going to read about it later on, right? So we'll get into that later on in the later scriptures. In the later scriptures. Let's just stick to this chapter here. Just know that this is a future prophecy. It says, verse 10, and he told it to his father and to his brethren, and his father rebuked him and said unto him, what is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee, to the earth? And his brother envied him, but his father observed the saying. Yeah, because his father, because Jacob is what? He's a wise man, right? Yeah, he's a wise man. So, sometimes you got to assess the situation, man. You can't always think harsh things or be impulsive. And that's the message here. Don't be impulsive, because a lot of things came out of that. Remember what happened with Simeon and Levi? That was an impulsive thing to do. What happened with Reuben? Reuben defiled his father's one of his father's concubine. That's impulsive. So you have men who don't control their emotions. But Jacob controlled. He could, you know what I'm saying? He'd be wise and assess the situation. It says, and his brother went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. And Israel said unto Joseph, do not thy brother feed the flock of Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said unto him, here am I. And he said to him, go, I pray thee, see whether it be well with thy brother, and well with the flocks, and bring me word again. So he sent him out the vale of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. And a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying, what seekest thou? And he said, I seek my brethren. Tell me, I pray thee, where they feed their flocks. And the man said, they are departed hence. For I heard them say, let us go to Dothan. And Joseph went after his brethren and found them in Dothan. The plot against Joseph. See, and this is what we talk about when we speak about the being impulsive and being emotional. It says, and when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him. And they said one to another, behold, this dreamer cometh. Today mocking him, his gift was sent from the Lord, man. Remember, Cain did the same thing to Abel, being impulsive and emotional. You see? Impulsive and emotional, not being able to be wise and discern, This is a book of discernment, right? So it says, "Come now, therefore, and let us slay him, and cast him into some pit, and we will say some evil beast hath devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams." And that's impulsive and emotional. It says, "And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands, and said, Let us not kill him. And Reuben said unto them, Shed no blood, but cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, and he might rid him out of their hands, to deliver him to his father again." And it came to pass, when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colors that was on him. And they took him, and cast him into a pit, and the pit was empty, there was no water in it. And they sat down to eat bread, and they lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead with their camels, bearing spicery and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. And Judah said unto his brother, What profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? Come, and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh. And his brethren were content. Then there passed by Midianites, merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit, and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. And they brought Joseph into Egypt. And Reuben returned into the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit, and he rent his clothes. And he returned into his pit, his brethren, and said, The child is not, and whither shall I go? Whither shall I go? And they took Joseph's coat, and killed a kid of the goats, and dipped the coat in the blood. And they sent the coat of many colors, and they brought it to their father, and said, This have we found. Know now whether it be thy son's coat or no. And he knew it, and said, It is my son's coat. An evil beast had devoured him. Joseph is without doubt rent in pieces. And Jacob rent his clothes, and put sackcloth upon his loins, and mourned for his son many days. And all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. And he said, For I will go down into the grave until my son mourning. Thus his father wept for him. And the Midianites sold him into Egypt unto Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's and captain of the guard. Salakia for being a little illiterate at the moment. I have no clue why. I'm a little tired, but I'm gonna actually have to go do something right now. So, Lord willing, I'll just do part 2, and we'll break into that prophecy tomorrow. So let's continue to just keep reading these stories of our forefathers. Because basically what ended up happening in these chapters, we saw a lot of deceit. We saw what men, even brother, will be willing to do, for jealousy and being emotional and impulsive. All right, which is why we're being men. We have to control our impulses and be wise. All right. So Lord willing, you understand the message, and we're edified. With that, I want to end it off by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahshua, Bashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to our apostles, elders, the great millstone, and shalom to y'all.